So I've been reading up on college football news, and I gotta say, we're less than 2 weeks away now from our first college football game, and I cannot wait. So today I wanted to go through who I think is the top 5 teams in each conference. Now I'm only gonna be doing the Power 4, which is the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, and the ACC. Does the ACC really count? I don't know. But with that being said, let's start right with the SEC. I'm gonna be going 5 through 1, as well as giving teams that just missed the cut that I think have a chance to be a dark horse to make this top 5 list. So like I said, let's start with the SEC. Right off the list is gonna be LSU and Tennessee. I just think both of them have unproven quarterbacks, and in the limited time that we've seen them play, we don't know how great they're going to be. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the guy's name from Tennessee or even LSU. I think it's Nussmeier, but Ieva, I think is how you say it. That's just my best guess. I don't want to get it wrong. So like I said, they just miss out on the top 5 with their unproven quarterback play, but I could see both these teams winning 9+ games if their quarterbacks do pan out. Now starting with number 5, I've got Missouri, the team that absolutely dominated Ohio State defensively in the bowl game last year. I mean, I know that a lot of Ohio State fans will say, hey, we didn't have our best players out there, but I don't care. That was just disappointing to watch anyway. Missouri to me has a chance to make some noise with Luther Burden coming back for another year. Now I think he had to come back because he's only a junior, but still, nonetheless, Brady Cook does return as a senior, as well as Mookie Cooper, another wide receiver who's a senior. Now, I do have to say the only reason I know some of these guys' names is because of College Football 25. I've gone through every single SEC team, and if you want to check those videos out on my YouTube, they're on there as well, where I've played with every team. I'll be doing the Big 10 next. That should be coming out soon. But obviously, I know who Luther Burden is because I watch college football. Same with Brady Cook. Didn't know who Mookie Cooper was, though, even though I watched him play last year. Now, the one thing that goes under the radar about Missouri is how good their defense is. They're above average. They held their own with Georgia, and I believe they only lost by 9 points last year. So look out for them to be a top 5 team in the SEC. Moving on to number 4, I've got Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin has a chance to get that little brother sort of thing off his back where he can't beat this team, can't beat that team. And this is the year with Jackson Dart and Trey Harris. That connection is going to be nasty for secondaries trying to cover. Jackson Dart already has the coolest name of all time, don't even get me started. And Trey Harris has been a solid receiver for me in College Football 25. Now at number 3, I'm thinking about flipping 3 and 2 with recent news that we'll get into, but I've got Alabama right now. Kalen DeBoer is just a straight up winner. I get it. Nick Saban is going to be hard to replicate, but Kalen DeBoer still brings in a good recruiting class and still is getting some transfers through the portal, even though they've lost a couple more than you would like. And I really love the chance for Jalen Milroe to win Heisman. I think the odds are at plus 1,000. He's like 3rd or 4th favorite. I would definitely put like $10 on that right now. I'm just saying. I mean, he almost won it last year itself. Now, another thing, I think he's listed at running back 2, but Jam Miller should definitely take over as the running back 1 throughout the year. I think he's the more proven back. And with a name like Jam Miller, you got to give him more starting reps. Now, on to number 2, I'm finally getting to the 2 teams that seem to me like they're going to be far and away the clear-cut top 2 teams, and that's going to be Texas. Now, the deciding game for Texas, where we can see if Texas is back, is that game at Michigan early in the season. They're the most broken team to play with in College 25 with their defensive line, and 2 of their best running backs are now out for the year. Now, this is the news I wanted to talk about. We know that a couple weeks ago they lost one of their running backs, but then I was told yesterday they lost another one that's out for the year, which is a big hit for them because I know they like running the football, even though Quinn Ewers can throw the ball down the field. Now, speaking of Quinn Ewers, even though he did transfer from Ohio State, he does have an NFL future. I think he can go 1st round next year, but those 2 running backs being out does hurt them. They got the front 7, they got the offensive line to compete with these teams, but with those running backs being out, I might want to move them below Alabama. But with that being said, number 1 is obviously Georgia. They do have one of the toughest schedules out of any of these teams mentioned. They have a great defense as always. Carson Beck is allegedly poised for a Heisman run. I got to give you my real unfiltered opinion. I don't believe in Carson Beck. I watched a good amount of Georgia football last year, and I just thought he was okay. Like, I still think Stetson Bennett was better, but now we're talking about Carson Beck like he's the best quarterback in the league. I can easily be proven wrong. I'm sure that this year will prove me wrong. I just don't see it with Carson Beck. And lastly, Trevor Etienne, he transfers from Florida, might be one of the best running backs in the country. That's a chance for Georgia to get that running game going with the offensive line they have, with the defense they've had. They might not score as many points as people think they will, but they're going to win a lot of these games 30-10 this year. Yeah, I guess I just don't see them having like an explosive offense with Carson Beck at quarterback. But that's it for Georgia. I mean, they're still going to be one of the 2 best teams in the country, along with another one I'll mention later. But that's going to do it for the SEC. Make sure you let me know your thoughts below on if I missed a team, on if you think LSU or Tennessee deserve to be in the top 5, or if you think one of those teams in the top 5 I mentioned don't deserve to be there. But with that being said, as always, make sure you have a great day, and peace.